Hi guys, this is a bit of a hilarious content, right? Because divestors and BW content creators are upset that Rihanna is pregnant for ASAP Rocky. What they're upset about is the fact that, of course, Rihanna is worth $1.7 billion and ASAP is only worth $10 million. So this is another case where they say that, another black singer who is not able to be hypergamous. And they were saying Rihanna should have gotten married to a billionaire. And, this is a real step down for her. But this is supposed to be obvious to everyone. So let's look at who billionaires marry so that they can understand quickly that billionaires tend to get married to a type. I think it's two sets of women, but they tend to have the same socioeconomic background. So let's look at it. So if you look at it, and this is Serena Williams. Serena Williams did not get married to a billionaire. Serena Williams got married to someone who was worth a fraction of what she was worth. Alex Hoyan, probably a nice guy, but Serena Williams was one who, I think 20 Grand Slams, is substantial, and, she had to marry down. Now, when you look at who billionaires marry, Mark Zuckerberg, Priscilla Chan. Priscilla Chan is just an ordinary woman, and if you look at them, he is basically the breadwinner. She's hypergamous. That seems like the formula, right? And you'll see. Look at Robert F. Smith and his wife. People were, bashing her because she did some risque, I think was a Playboy shoot, and that, and they're saying, hey, he got married to this woman and she did Playboy, but guess what? She's of a lower socioeconomic background than he is. And guess what? She's hypergamous and he's the breadwinner. Let's look at this again. So let's go at this again. Jeff Bezos and Mackenzie. Same stuff. He's the breadwinner, she's hypergamous. And guess what? In almost all cases, these women are basically unknown to the mainstream. Warren Buffett and his wife. Now, look at this. These guys marry women who are compatible with them. And these women are hypergamous. They take care of them. And the men, they are the breadwinners. Look at this. Elon Musk. Well, his wife divorced him. But this was his ex-wife. And I couldn't even tell you who she is. But that's the type of formula that works. He did not get married to Madonna, Britney Spears. We'll get into that later. Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, she worked for him. They got married. Look at that. She, in his era, there would have been, Madonna, there would have been a whole bunch of people. He didn't get married to those people. He got married to a woman that he spent a lot of time with. He was a breadwinner and she was hypergamous. Simple. Sam Walton, homegrown wealth. Look at his wife, as plain as day. This is who billionaires marry. Rihanna did not stand a chance to get married to a billionaire. She may have had a fling with a billionaire, a relationship with a billionaire, but that's not who they normally go for. So let's take a look at what happens here. Diana Ross. Now, Diana Ross is quite an exception. Both her and Beyonce are exceptions. Diana Ross got married to Aaron Ness, who was worth $600 million. And he was far more wealthy than she was. This is an anomaly. And as we said, exceptions don't make the rule. But Diana Ross was a bit different. She was not marketed to be sexy and sultry. Diana Ross was marketed as being a talent and classy and stylish. If you look at her, she looks like a model. And if you look at this, she's hypergamous, and he's the breadwinner, and she is your damsel in distress, model-looking singer. She is not a boss babe, nowhere near there. Now the divestors and the BW people are crying, and here's why they're crying. The big issue they have is Rihanna is peak black woman. She is extremely beautiful, extremely rich. When she gets married to ASAP Rocky, this sends a message which they don't like. And what it sends is that it's difficult to be hypergamous. And this is the problem. This is the problem they face. It's difficult to be hypergamous. They know about the Mary J. Blige. They know about all of that stuff. And they know about Nia Long, Sene Lathan, all of them. They know about it. It's very difficult to be hypergamous because actors and black billionaires, very few black billionaires, but our multi-millionaires are looking for someone to support and to take care of. They're not looking for a situation where they're on equal pairing, with the exception of Beyonce. And as I said, exceptions don't make the rules. Most times people, a regular guy, he's just looking for someone to share his life with. He is just looking for a normal woman and to be a partner, or he's supporting her. That's just how the formula works. And so the average man is just looking for that thing, partnership, or he is going to be the main provider. It's a simple thing. Now, when a woman is extremely rich, her wealth is not, and I like to use this chart, rejected, ignored, tolerated, accepted, celebrated. Her wealth would not be celebrated, because the fact of the matter is that the man is now, he has to be now the supported person. He has to take on what is a traditional feminine role. So therefore, he won't celebrate her wealth. He may accept it, but most times he'll tolerate it. And to tolerate it, what that means is that he will not feel like the alpha in the relationship. So therefore, there's a big trade-off. And so most times, this is what prevents these women in a lot of situations from getting a mate on their same level, because most mates, when they're wealthier, that they're looking for a woman that they will support and a woman that needs them, and a lot of times that's just the way it is. So Tina Turner, like a lot of people used to say, Tina Turner got married to a man who was more wealthy than her. No, she actually got married to a man who's less wealthy than her, Erwin Bach, who's a music producer. And this, you'll see, is how the formula works, right? It normally works this way, that you get married to someone when you're an unknown man who I guess they vibe with. Look at Nicki Minaj. Look at the disparity in wealth. 70 million versus Kenneth Petty, $500,000, right? She got married to a very regular guy, we all remember Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown. Whitney Houston was at the top of her game when she got married to Bobby Brown, who I wouldn't say he was a has-been, but his career was fading when they got married. And I'm sure a lot of people said, why didn't Whitney get married to someone else? But it's just that in this situation, it takes a special type of guy who's willing to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be her cheerleader. A lot of times it doesn't work out in the long run, but these guys are, willing to do this. And you'll see, look at this one, Ariana Grande. She got married to this guy named Dalton Gomez. Now, this guy, regular bloke, Ariana Grande is worth 200 million. This is what we're going to see. Dua Lipa. Now, she is worth 25 million. She's with Anwar Hadid. Anwar Hadid is, I don't know what business he has, but, his father is wealthy, so therefore this is what, he brings the $4 million to the table. She, Dua Lipa is far more wealthy. Britney Spears, worth $70 million. Kevin Federline, a dancer, worth 1.5 million. And this is the imbalance that's happened. This is not new. So I'm not sure why there's this feeling that Rihanna could have made it hypergamous, because the fact of the matter was, as we go back to billionaires are not looking for pop stars to get married to. That's an exception, unless that pop star, maybe someone that is like a Grace Kelly or Diana Ross, who is marketed more in a classy way. Someone that he feels that, hey, she's beyond reproach. Someone that I can feel proud of, not someone that is passed around from different stars and different men, because that's a bit embarrassing sometimes, right? Look at Madonna, worth almost $1 billion. Carlos Leon, she had a child with him. Brazilian dancer. Julia Roberts, pretty woman. I love this movie, because I mean, you know, it's a weird movie though, this attractive woman and this wealthy man, and you know, he sweeps her off her feet. That's a fantastic movie. But look at Julia Roberts. She got married to someone named Lyle Lovett. Now, people today would never know who Lyle Lovett was, a country singer. Look at the disparity. Look, she's married to a man named Danny Moder now. I think he's a movie producer. Look at the disparity. If people said Daniel Moder, the majority of people don't know who he is. But Julia Roberts, even someone who is a Gen Z or a Zoomer, knows exactly who Julia Roberts is. This is the disparity that happens. Katy Perry. Now, so Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom. And Katy Perry is worth $200 million. Orlando Bloom is worth $40 million. Then you have Joe Alwyn, $4 million. Taylor Swift, $400 million. So you kind of getting to see, what the disparity is. There is that disparity between them because when you look at it, maybe Elon Musk would have a fling with Taylor Swift. Maybe they would have a whirlwind romance for a time, but a lot of times these men are looking for these plain Janes who work with them, or they're looking for someone that they can be the sole provider for, and they can feel like the real alpha. Taylor Swift comes with a sizable sum. She can tell a man at any point, you know what, it's over. And she did, yeah, and based on the news, she has done this several times, right? It takes a special type of man to deal with that, right? And then, as we said, with Jay-Z and Beyonce, they are the exception, right? And this is what I think the mold that a lot of the BWE spokes and the divestors thought would have happened. But this is a rarity, and they both grew in wealth together. When they got together, Jay-Z was not this wealthy. They were a team that got them to this place. Beyonce worked with Jay-Z to get here, right? And they're a fantastic team working together. So my main thing is, as we look at Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, the key thing is that we should remember, right? She's happy. She looks happy. She's having a child. And, many of the BWE's people have said she had a rough childhood. Her father was an alcoholic. There was some physical abuse with her mother, all of that. Like, they've gone through all of that. Just be happy for her. Just be happy for her. And stop trying to put something on her which she cannot reach. People have these fantasies and fairy tale. Look at who billionaires actually marry. Billionaires get married. They don't get married to Rihanna. These billionaires are looking to get married to plain Janes or women that depend on them. It's a simple formula. Thank you.